guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I have a very special guest on the channel, David Kahn, one of the co-founders of Jackson Kahn Design and one of the creators and the designers of Bootleggers Lair on GS Pro. Not only in GS Pro though, it is a real world project. I'm lucky enough to have David on the channel today. Now, we were having some issues with David's camera. It kept cutting in and out, so the video might not be as succinct and he might not appear as much in the video as I wanted him to, as you guys probably want him to. So unfortunately, we did have some technical issues. However, this video is more about getting the message out there about this course and also about David's foundation. So if you do at any point get bored during the video, please skip to the end. Watch the end of the video where we talk about David's amazing foundation, and also there is a huge announcement at the end of the video. So if you're gonna watch anything, watch the end of the video, please. All right, guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy this conversation and these few holes that I play on Bootleggers Lair with David. Welcome, David, from Jackson Kahn Design to the channel. It's a real treat. It's a real pleasure to have you on. I know I really appreciate having you on the channel. I guess first off, talk to us about Jackson Kahn Design. How did it all start? And I've taken a look online at your portfolio, some of your courses you've designed, and it is very, very impressive.
Well, I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you, first of all, for having me on. Big fan of your channel and what you do, and this is a treat for me as well. So I am David Kahn. I'm a golf course designer, and my partner and I, Tim Jackson, actually started under the Tom Fazio's organization. So we worked with Tom for a combined 15 years. And then the downturn of the economy in '09, we were let go as he downsized his office, and the two of us gelled together so well that we decided to make a go of it for ourselves and formed Jackson Kahn Design about 16 years ago, and have been very fortunate to have a long list of great clients and great projects. Just been a real treat for us to kind of keep doing what we love to do.
That's incredible. It's almost out of misfortune comes, blossoms an amazing partnership. There's obviously taken off because, like I said, your portfolio is very impressive. What are some of the favorite courses you've designed? Like, what are some of your absolute favorites?
Absolute favorite. I mean, they're all kind of our babies to an extent, but the ones that stick out first and foremost are the Dunes course at Monterey Peninsula Country Club. Was an incredible treat and honor to be able to touch one of the 7 courses on the Monterey Peninsula. I mean, that's a haven for golf in the States and worldwide. And we were very fortunate at a young part in our career as well to be able to completely re-envision that property. And then we had the chance to design all the new golf courses at Scottsdale National for Bob Parsons, founder of PXG, and did the other course there in the Bad Little Nine, which was really, really fun. It might be the most fun project we will ever have. It's definitely the most fun to date. Yeah. We had just unlimited. It wasn't necessarily so much the unlimited budget that made it special. It was the unlimited freedom and creativity. There was never any handcuff whatsoever. And what we were able to generate there is kind of true to ourselves, and was really, really a blast. We just finished up a great renovation at Conway Farms in Chicago. That played host to the BMW Championship a few times in the last decade. Really, really special, great place, great membership, and we're just fortunate to keep getting lucky with great clients and great sites, and just try to make the best of it.
That would have been a lot of fun. The Bad Little Nine, I've actually done a video on GS Pro.
I have seen it. Yeah.
That course, that course is so much fun. And it was tough. It was incredibly tough on GS Pro. I can only imagine what it was like in real life. Still to this date, I think that was probably my favorite video I filmed. Like, I was actually just having fun and just trying to battle my way around that course.
We built that one as if it were a real life video game. We wanted people to feel like a kid again. And that comes across whether you're playing it in person or you're playing it virtually. It's just, you just can't help but smile, even when you're making a bad score. But there's certain hole locations out there where it could be set up really gettable and really fun. And I don't know if the virtual world has the correct quote pin placements to do that, but they're all designed for both fun and carnage, which is a great combination.
Yeah. Has anyone broken par there yet? Their first attempt?
Yeah, so one person. So the way it works
Yeah.
is only on Fridays. It's called Challenge Day, and the pins go to very
Okay.
specific locations that are designed intently for Challenge Day, where Bob puts up
Okay.
$1,000 if anyone can break par. And
Mm.
James Hahn was the first person to do it, but he did it in his second loop of the day, and Bob disqualified him. He's like,
Okay.
you don't get to play 2 rounds in one day at Augusta. Like, you only get one shot.
Yeah.
So that one was nixed, and then Austin Ernst, a LPGA player, was officially the only person in the 7-8 years of existence that has
Wow.
broken par on Challenge Day. Yeah, it's
That's
it's
pretty
it's a
impressive.
stout test, and I'm a a +2. I'm a good golfer, and
Yeah.
on the other days where we call it buckets, where pins are in hole-in-one locations, funnels. I mean, I've been lucky to have 4 under, 5 under, 6 under rounds, but Challenge Day, I play those as 9 par 5s. If I shoot anything under double
That's
bogey
unreal.
golf, I actually feel like I played pretty well.
That's unreal. I could talk about the battle in line for hours, and I can imagine working for Bob Parsons was a lot of fun as well. He seems like a really nice guy, and he'd give you a lot of rope and a lot of freedom. Let's get on to Bootleggers Lair. So, Bootleggers Lair as an actual place in real life. Can you talk about Bootleggers? Have you been there? Have you felt what it's like to be there? And talk about some of the history that goes into it.
Yeah, I have been on property. The owner contacted me probably about 9 months ago to a year, and told me this kind of
Mm,
crazy idea he had for his property, which was this essentially an old farm on Long Island in New York, and it had a lot of history dating back to George Washington time, and I'm not a full history buff, so I don't want to get misspeak in that roles, but
yeah,
there's a lot of American history kind of baked into this property, which is super cool, and big majestic hardwoods and rolling terrain and just beautiful, beautiful land. And he said he had this crazy idea to build a short game haven, essentially a private short game facility, a club that would
mm,
be run like most any other club, but for and only for the short game, which is very atypical in clubs, especially in this
yeah,
country. And I like it when people think outside the box and are contrarian. I kind of think of myself as the same, and so I was really intrigued with what he was saying, and ended up making a trip there and stepping foot on the property. And it's just a really magical place. It really is. There's never
mm,
been a pesticide or chemical sprayed on the property in its existence, and he's going to keep it that
wow,
way. So even when golf comes there, it's still going to be organic and natural and maintained to that level, which
mm,
is awesome. And he has some talented guys kind of helping to craft that manual of how to do so. Um, but it's not a golf course at all. It's a short
yeah,
game learning preserve, and even beyond that, it's a learning preserve beyond golf. There's equestrian there, and you can learn how to train animals and be one with nature. And he's had people out there playing foot golf and frisbee golf and all these kind of outdoorsy activities that use this learning preserve, the same venue for different purposes, which is really, really cool. There's
yeah,
it's a working farm too, so there's going to be produce and fruit trees and stuff that you can pick as you journey through this environment, which is just really, it's really surreal when this thing gets built.
yeah,
But he wanted to use GS Pro and get it in a simulator to be able to sell it to his future members, which is a
yeah.
brilliant way to pitch something versus just showing pictures. So we went through that
Absolutely.
process, yeah, and it's opened our eyes to really how much more cool the place could be, because we were able to spend that time in the sandbox, so to speak, really crafting it to a much greater detail than we would if we were just designing on paper and then going out into the field to build it. So we don't have any time we don't have any time slated to start. I'm guessing it's gonna break ground possibly sometime this year. But right now
Yeah.
it's just in that virtual in that virtual world.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So, how did the actual collaboration with GS Pro start? Was it initiated by the owner of Bootleggers, or was it yourself, or how did it all come about?
The owner of Bootleggers Lair actually found GS Pro
Wow.
through a Discord channel and just started chatting there, and they kind of synced up, and he introduced me to them, and it's kind of, we all three just kind of started talking, what if we did this, would you be open to this, and it just kind of organically formulated that way.
Wow, that's incredible, and that's it. I guess that shows you how much bigger GS Pro is getting as a platform. When you have people, like the owner of Bootleggers finding it, it is incredible. It is getting bigger and bigger all the time.
It is.
That's incredible. And I guess, yeah, a lot of people know Chris as CE Sim Golf, and he's known among his peers as being the best designer in GS Pro. The attention to detail, it's his bunkers, something about his bunkers, something about all his objects on course. They all look so amazing. He spends so much time just detailing every little thing that people aren't even going to see in the experience. He is now an official GS Pro designer, and it's amazing that you partnered with not only GS Pro but then C Sim Golf as well. I'm sure you've got to know him because he is a incredible designer.
He is. He is. I kind of, when I first got exposed to GS Pro, I would probably, like anybody else, just start downloading courses, and naturally you get drawn to ones that are better looking, especially being a
Yeah,
designer, and having that same attention for detail is important to us. So philosophically, I got drawn to, naturally, like all of his courses. I keep seeing his name pop up. At the time I started talking to GS Pro, Chris was not a GS Pro, in-house builder designer.
okay, yeah,
And I told him, listen, if we're going to do this, like, there's only one guy I want to build our courses, and it's this CE Sim Golf. So
yeah,
little did I know, I think they were a little bit ahead of me, and it just, stars aligned. And Chris is just not only so talented, he's so nice, and he's like any golf course shaper or bulldozer operator that we work with in the real world that we love working with. They love what they do. They're passionate. They care about the details,
yeah,
and they bring something to the table as well. It's not just doing what we tell them. It's interpreting what we tell them and creating something better than we have even envisioned in our minds. So we rely heavily on those
yeah,
builders, whether it be in the real world or virtual, and Chris fits into that slot just perfectly.
yeah. And I mean, he's nailed this course. What I'll do now is I'll change over camera views and we'll just go for a quick flight, because this property, like you said, it's a learning preserve. And I guess I just want to show off to people that it is just a learning preserve. It's almost like a facility, it has like a backyard feel.
It does. I mean, in reality, it is a backyard, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that White House down there is the estate house that will be kind of renovated to maintain its old historic values and feel, but to be able to house members when they come on property. The barn up there above the challenge hole at the top, the red barn is I think that's going to have an apartment in it, and simulators, and
wow.
golf course maintenance storage, and just farm equipment. It's just they're all really, really cool, character laden buildings that have been there a really long time, and it just feels right. There's a cistern on the left there behind kind of what would be the second green in this routing, an old cistern, and it's really cool. Um,
Yeah,
so there's a formal short game area. That's what you're looking at now. That is about
yep,
7 to 8 acres in size. There's the challenge hole. That is the first hole, which is right outside the estate. That's kind of its own thing. Go out with your buddies, sit out on the back porch, grab a drink, and just have fun betting.
that'd be your hole in one. Yeah, hole in one challenge.
It's like a bad little 9 green in a way. There's really kick you in the teeth hole locations, and then there's that funnel pin, which happens to be the Sunday pin in this setup for GS Pro.
Yeah,
And it'd just be a great place to sit around with 20 guys and get the music playing and just have fun. So even though it's not a course, for the GS Pro interface. There are 18 holes. It's a sequence of shots. Sometimes it's out of the fairway. Sometimes it's out of the bunker. Sometimes it's out of the rough. It's scenarios. It's a sequence of scenarios is all it is. And we will eventually come out with custom challenges on this property that will further kind of expand the functionality and usability of this facility. And then as you see, there's a lot more than just this short game area. There is a game called, so if you've gone to the range before you play, we call this range the Honeymaker. And they're filled with these elements that I've coined the beehives. And it was a vision, something I sketched in my sketchbook about 11 years ago. And just, middle of the night, just had this weird idea, and it just sat there for 11 years. And then we start doing this project, and I realize I think there's a good fit for this here. And I could show you what that sketch looked like originally, and I gave that to Chris, and I'm like, listen, here's the loose idea, like, can you help make this thing real? And through the back and forth of that collaboration, these big elements out there kind of came to life, which was really cool for me to see, a loose sketch come to something more polished. But it's all about audible reaction target practice, 100 yards and in, so you can pick your targets. There's bucket in the 75-yard target or 80-yard target. There's an old kind of steel wash bin filled with water. So there's just really fun, engaging elements that, when you pull off that shot, you get this kind of joy of a kid reaction, both in sound and sight. It's just really, to me, it's more engaging practice. It makes it fun. It's not repetitive. And yet it tricks you into practicing because it's more fun. That's my theory.
Yeah.
And then
I agree.
The last venue on this property is called the Game of Stumps. And it's a 9-hole sequence that the first time I heard about it from the owner, I thought he was nuts. And as we started to talk about it more, and when I visited the site, I actually played it because he has a setup out there, and it is so much fun. And it's pretty simple rules. There are stumps out there and a tee box associated with each stump, and you get 2 shots per hole. 2 shots and only 2 shots. If your first shot lands within this painted 30-foot circle, which you can see around all the stumps, you get 2 points. And if your next shot hits the stump, you get another point. So that would be 3 points. If your first shot misses the circle, you get no points, but from wherever you come to rest, you can hit it again, pick up another point. If your first tee ball hits the stump, it's called a stump, you get 4 points. And from wherever that comes to rest, you get your second shot. You could clip the stump again for 5 points. If you hit it in any of the garden areas, it's actually a penalty. You owe $1 to the course, as he calls it. And at the end of the year, all those dollars collected go to a year-end party for the membership, which is really, really cool. But it's another creative, fun way to trick somebody into practicing very specific shots.
Absolutely.
And it's just, so the venue is created. There needs to be a new UI created to allow the Game of Stumps to be something functional in GS Pro, which they are working on. I can't sit here and say what time that would be released, but down the road, you will be able to come in here and play the Game of Stumps with all that scoring and fun, and it's really, really cool.
That's fantastic. And even like just you talking about that, I try and get my kids into the sim room. They just want to play games. They always just want to play Awesome Golf because of the games on Awesome Golf. But GS Pro, it needs more gamification, and the designers have been doing it on their ranges. There are some amazing, games, I guess, in GS Pro now. But this one just looks. I mean, look at. I've zoomed in. I don't know if you can see the grass there and the paint.
It's incredible, right?
Chris is a genius. He's look at the. This is the stuff that I get, the details of the actual blades of grass with the paint.
Yeah.
Then you've got this like dead patch of grass just there in the middle of the screen. It's just, and the stump, he is a genius.
He hand paints everything. I'm not taking all the credit, but we do this with our shapers too. I push guys to be better than they were yesterday. And, with the bunkering, he learned some new techniques with the bunkering here that he hadn't done before. And he learned some new details and pushed his limits. And, that actually has reaped benefits for his next build, which we'll talk about. That'll come out soon. So every time he's learning new tricks and tips that, are making his skill set better. So, if you fly back towards that pin in the background and turn around, you're at the second stump, but the tee box is down here, and then you could turn around and kind of see what that shot looks like. But it's a collection of some really, really fun golf shots. And the whole facility is just grab your wedge and go meander around it and just have fun.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's really cool.
That's incredible. All right, I better hit a few shots because I know people are going to want to watch me, get a few double bogeys around here. But feel free to keep talking about the course while we go. What I will ask you is, and feel free to keep talking through my shots as well. Jackson Kahn Design, you've got this project going. Are you able to let us in on any other projects you got going on in GS Pro? Or are they all secrets? Are they all to be announced?
They are. So right now, GS Pro is working on recreating some real world already built facilities that we helped kind of make the introductions to. So that's what they're working on right now. The only one I can probably talk about that will be coming soon is in fact, my backyard. So I've built, I've built a quote unquote golf course in my backyard. It's only on an acre. It's really creative. It's everything from 30-yard shots to 75-yard shots. I brought our best shaper to my house here in North Carolina and shaped something really, really cool. And so I've already got it LiDAR flown of it, and Chris is going to tackle that at some point really soon and get that in as another kind of short game fun training facility, so to speak, that has some JKD and real world roots. As for any future kind of fictional JKD stuff, I don't have anything to announce. I've got some thoughts in my own head of properties that I want to do some really cool stuff on, but nothing official that I can talk about at all. Yep. Yeah. But there will be a lot more to come from Jackson Kahn Design in the GS Pro world. Yeah, which is really exciting.
That's
for us.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
So I guess there are a few courses that you have designed, and one of them is, I almost played it, Rams Hill.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is in GS Pro, and I guess that's going to be, what I'll talk about now is the league. So the Joe Legassi Golf League, as people probably know, is one of the biggest leagues, or it is the biggest league in GS Pro. This week, we are going to be playing at Rams Hill, and I'm going to be doing a bit of a competition. I'm going to be doing it live on Sunday instead of the Sunday Live. Before I talk about that event, though, what I'd love to do is invite David to talk about his foundation. So for Batten, this foundation is extremely special, and I know David and his wife have done a lot of work towards this foundation, but I'll open the floor to you, David, to talk about it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Joe. Jackson Kahn Design side of my life, things are great. Everything's kind of living a dream. And then my personal life is quite the opposite, almost kind of living in a nightmare, but we're trying to make the best of it. So my wife and I have twin daughters, our only two children, Amelia and Mackenzie. They are almost 15. They'll be 15 in a few weeks. And when they were 7 years old, they were diagnosed with a rare neurodegenerative and fatal disease called juvenile Batten disease. And their life expectancy is late teens, early 20s. So, we don't know how much longer they'll be around. But it's a devastating disease. I mean, not only is it fatal at a young age, they degrade so quickly and so severely that there's a lot of suffering. And it's brutal to watch, and can only imagine it's more brutal to go through. But they've lost their vision. They're living in complete darkness. They have seizures and they have chronic pain. They are scared and confused, and they lose the ability to talk and walk and eat and go to the bathroom, and they've got feeding tubes, and all this stuff is unraveled from what we thought were typical kids when they were born. They were meeting milestones and walking and talking and reading and writing and running and laughing and playing and all the above, normal kids, and then just went right off a cliff, and we're just kind of watching that train wreck happen. So long story short, after coming to that realization and accepting it and getting out of the denial stage, we decided to get up and fight and start a foundation. So 7 years ago, we started the For Batten Foundation to fund critical research to fight Batten disease and also support the Batten community by giving them, smiles in their otherwise dark days. So it's been a journey. It's been an amazing response from primarily the golf community, which is what I'm largely a part of. So we're leaning into the golf community, and that's in those 7 years we've raised almost $7 million, or just over $7 million. That is all kind of being funneled into research, which is actually starting to show some promise. It's a long road, but there's little glimpses of hope here and there for hopefully stopping the disease. We've actually, through our research, through our donors' generosity, we've put that into research that has started to show some good data. We've taken that data and we've taken a team, and we've actually been able to get FDA approval for a very personalized and specialized medicine for both of our daughters. They actually have been treated 3 times thus far with a new drug that we've coined Zabroncacin, which is a combination of zebra and monkey, which are their 2 favorite animals. And, it's a little bit of hope in an otherwise, tough time, but, all the hard work and generosity of our donor base is being put to the best use that we can find for it. And we're going to keep fighting, while our daughters are here and when they're gone. We're going to keep fighting because this disease is ruthless, and it needs to be eliminated.
Yeah, I can only imagine what you two are going through. I've got 2 young kids, and it would literally, I can only imagine what you two are going through, and it's just so horrible that anyone has to undergo that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess to kind of help in any tiny little way that we can as the Joe Legowski golf community, this Sunday I will be playing the league live. The league this week is going to be at Rams Hill, which is a Jackson Kahn designed course in real life. What I will say is none of the courses in GS Pro are copies of courses. They are designed by the designers independently. That's my GS Pro disclaimer.
Right.
But it's going to be at Rams Hill on GS Pro. And I'll be doing birdies and bogeys for Batten. So I invite all my members, all my subscribers to join me on Sunday as I play live. And for every hole-in-one, hopefully we have a few, I'll be donating $100. Any Albatross will be $10. Any Eagle, $5. Any birdie, $2. Par is going to be scratch, and then bogeys are $5. Double bogeys are $10. And if there's any triples or worse, it'll be $100. So that's what I'll be donating. And I really, if people play the league this week, I really encourage you to jump on board and do that donation yourself, or come up with your own set of rules that you're going to donate. If you want to join me in the live, I encourage you to donate with me. So for all those scores that I make, donate along with me, and hopefully every dollar counts. And I know that this community is small, but even $10 is going to be better than nothing. So I really encourage everybody to join me on Sunday as we play birdies and bogeys for Batten, and we do our little part to help David and his wife with the For Batten Foundation.
I appreciate that, Joe, very, very much. That means the world to us. And just so you and your audience know, just how special it is. I mean, Jackson Kahn Design is pretty much doing this all out of the goodness of our hearts to participate with GS Pro and bring some of things that we have done and things that we are doing and things that we want to do to GS Pro. And it's all really to kind of help raise awareness of Batten disease and our mission. So it's, I'm not making any money off of any of this. I just doing it out of the goodness of my heart, and that I love the game and I love GS Pro, and I love golfers and golf. So that means a lot to my wife and I. So thank you.
I guess that is, I guess, the episode. Have you got anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
I do. I'll drop one more bomb for everybody, which is good news. So, in the light of the auction, oh sorry, I got to even mention that. So our foundation has a 2-week long online auction every year, and it's coming up on Wednesday, the 19th. Runs for 2 weeks until March 5th. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year. Last year, this auction raised $1.6 million. And Golf Digest has coined it the best auction in golf. Not our words. And it's pretty amazing what we've been able to put together, mainly my father, who spearheads this. But it is a collection of most of the top 100 courses in the country, in the U.S. There's some international stuff for sure. It's experiences that you can't just go online and buy. If you don't know a member or are in the inner circle of high-end clubs, you're not getting access. So this is a lot of people's chances to be able to gain access into places that check things off of their bucket list. It's really, really, really cool. If you go to forbatten.org, FOREBATTEN.org, a pop-up will come up and allow users to get to that auction to check it out. Again, it's amazing what generous people donate to win some of these items. It's head scratching in a good way. So I understand that it's kind of out of a lot of people's price points, but just getting awareness of it, spreading the word, more eyes on that auction, the more success we have. And like you said earlier, even $10, $20, it goes a long way. If 1,000 people give $20, that's a big number. So nothing's too small and nothing is underappreciated at all. And to go along with this auction this year, GS Pro is about to announce a new official course to the network, which is Tobacco Road. And the reason Tobacco Road is making this list is because Forbatten Foundation has had our last 3 physical golf events at Tobacco Road. And we've developed such a great relationship with the owner there that I put him in contact with GS Pro to hopefully get the thumbs up to be not only a site for a virtual fundraising event, but to be a first official GS Pro course, which is super cool. So all the GS Pro users are going to be able to experience Tobacco Road in all its glory, built by CE Sim Golf. It is unbelievable. And for the first 2 weeks on SGT, they are going to run a foundation event on that for the kind of grand launch of Tobacco Road, which is super cool. So go check that out on GS Pro, or go check that out on SGT, and have some fun and spread the word about what we're doing, and get ready for more to come.
That's fantastic. And I mean, what a course. What a course to choose is, Tobacco Road. I've seen videos on it. I'd love to go there in real life one day, but I mean, what a course. What a course to choose. That's going to be incredible.
It will. It's I'm building a sim right now, so I don't have the ability to play it, but I've flown around it enough, and I'm licking my chops. People are going to love it. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is essentially like almost the epitome of what a simulator course should be. It's big, it's bold, it's supernatural, and the justice Chris did to it is unparalleled. Yeah, I love it. All right, David, again, thank you so much for coming on the channel. I really appreciate it. I guess to everyone watching, make sure you join me Sunday. It'll be back to the normal time of 11 o'clock. I'll put the link on my YouTube page, my YouTube channel, so definitely jump on. It'll have your local time there on the video. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for tuning in. If you've got any comments or questions, leave them down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.